All right. Hello, everybody. I am live. Let me get Instagram going here. Thank you for joining me. I am Cliff, serial entrepreneur, author, executive MBA, business coach. I specialize in organic business growth, online business strategies. This is one of those days where usually I'm sitting here waiting to go live. And then, to be honest, today was just I barely made it with my lights and everything set up. But I'm here and I've got a lot of questions from my community in the school app. If you are not part of my community or curious about that, it's a free community that I coach of entrepreneurs, and it's in the school app. And you can see the link in the description of this video, or you could just click on my channel and you will see a little link in my description there to join my free community. My community is really growing and starting to ask me questions that I can answer. So I'm very excited to be able to answer some questions today from the community. And I've hit a milestone. I've hit a milestone of 100 people in my community on the school app. And that is just amazing. It's a really big deal. 100 in this day and age just doesn't seem like a big number because we're just in social media. We're all inundated with follow count and subscriber count and how many people do we have watching and following our channel, and we see these channels with thousands and tens of thousands, even millions of subscribers or followers. um, I was reminded this week from someone that I was talking to. I talked to other mentors as well, who are doing this type of thing of coaching, and they reminded me that 100 people fills up a lecture hall. So 100 is a big deal. It means 100 people have agreed that they're going to give you their time and attention intermittently. So I just want to give all of you some encouragement as you build your social media, you build your followings, you build your communities, that celebrating any milestone, 10, 100, 1,000, is a big deal. It means you've put in some work and attracted people to your page and your community. So anyhow, let's get to some questions here. In my community, I always encourage people to ask questions, and they can ask them live. As time goes on, we'll have more people watching this live broadcast. But right now, I'm getting a lot of questions during the week to include on the live broadcast. So let's get to them. The first person is named Brian, and he is a very talented painter and has a brick and mortar business. And he is curious on how to scale that business and grow the brick and mortar business. So brick and mortar, again, just a term that you have a business that is in a physical location. So if someone has a store selling retail products, that's brick and mortar. A lot of businesses that are brick and mortar and depend on referrals and walk-in traffic and people that are local or visiting. It's good to have an online component as well. So Brian's looking to grow his business, and he's got a huge Instagram opportunity. So first, I want to talk about how to scale a brick and mortar store. And there's a lot of things Brian is doing as far as painting, where he's selling artwork everywhere, which is great. I want to make sure that he has a website that's built so people can see the artwork. And I assume that's the case because he is selling some of it over distance, I believe. But things that he can do to scale the online portion. One, make sure his website's optimized for search engine optimization. Make sure that people can find it if they're searching for artwork. Wants to make sure that when people visit, and I guess we'll just put this in your term. If you have a store, brick and mortar, or if you have just a website in general, this is just general website knowledge. You want to be able to collect emails of people who visit your website as easily and as soon as possible, because that is your audience that you want to start to build. And how do you collect emails from people? You need to have some type of pop-up or something. I know people hate pop-ups, but the pop-up is not bad if it gives some value. So if you go to a website and it says, just give us your email, Yeah, that's kind of an annoying pop up. But if you go to a website and it says, well, give us your email and you'll get 10% off today or 15% off today, or give us your email and you'll get a free guide on how to do this or that, then, you're getting something of value. We call that kind of an irresistible offer, a juicy carrot, something to get people's attention, to give you the email address. And you definitely, once you get those emails, you want to start building that community through emails. And that's a whole different topic really on how to manage an email list. But really, the first and foremost thing is you want to start collecting those emails, and give people that reason to give you their email. Also, I think when you have a brick and mortar company, you want to create digital products as soon as possible. So, in other words, if you're, this is going to be tough. This is really going to depend on what you're selling. So, in Brian's case, he's selling art, right? And yes, he can pack up works of art and ship those everywhere. And that's a lot of work and it's a limited amount of inventory. But as I showed in one of my earlier videos, and I really should just have this sign I can hold up, that if you want to get the passive income, you need to have something that can make money and be fulfilled shipping wise and everything while you sleep, right? So digital products are a great way to make money and get out of the one-to-one ratio of work that you do and earning money, that linear curve between time and work and effort and earning money and getting into something that is exponential, where you're earning money without doing additional work. And digital products are a great way of doing that. So in Brian's case, as a painter, there's a lot of digital products Brian can do. He can create tutorials that he can sell, lessons. He can create digital pieces of art that he can sell as well. He can form a Patreon account and get a subscription from people each month to support him in exchange for exclusivity. Maybe people, and that's a whole other discussion too, as well. What do you offer if you have a Patreon account? Well, you can offer more exclusive communication contact. You can do work that's more exclusive to what those people want to see. People can commission you to do specific works for them. And that gets back to the linear, but the subscription of a Patreon account, for example, each month, or a subscription to your website, subscriptions are, I consider to be passive, because that money is coming in every month, regardless of the time that you're putting in. Of course, you want to make sure you put in the time to give value to the people who are paying that subscription. So, but digital products, how-to lessons, things like that, things that your clients need. And you're not going to know sometimes until you talk to a lot of people and ask a lot of people and take polls and just find out as much as possible what people are looking for. In Brian's case, if it's art and painting, what products do people need? Another thing Brian can do on his website is sell art supplies. And it doesn't have to be art supply. It shouldn't really be art supplies that he has on hand that he's going to pack up and ship. This should be done through drop shipping. This is a really great way of using drop shipping. In other words, let's say people go to his class or his site and they're part of his community and they want to start painting themselves and they want painting supplies. Wow, it's so convenient that they're hanging out at his site and he happens to have a list of products that he sells on his site, whether it's paintbrushes, paints, canvas, those types of things. People can order those, and then by drop shipping, the order goes to another company. They ship the product, and Brian just keeps the difference in the profits there. So adding a drop shipping element is a really fantastic way to add value to his site and create another stream of income. Another way to add some passive income and another stream of income, in the case of Brian, is to create a channel on YouTube. Now with painting, it's something that people want to learn how to do, and maybe they just want to, in a Zen-like moment, just watch someone paint. And so Brian can create a Bob Ross channel. I don't know if anyone knows who Bob Ross is, but as a kid, I used to just be mesmerized watching him paint and talk while he painted. It was just so relaxing. And so that does take a little effort to record the videos and the tutorials or whatever it is that you want to do. But that's a real value to people. To learn how to paint or to watch someone create art is incredible. You can create an hour-long video easily, and have that on YouTube, and people can watch that. And once your channel's monetized, then that's just money, revenue coming into you each month after you've made those videos and people keep watching them. So I see some people are watching. I want to encourage you to say hi in the chat, or if you have any questions for me live, I will respond immediately. Otherwise, I have kind of my set list of things that I'm going to be going through. But the more people that are live and talking to me, the more fun and interesting this is definitely for me. And I want to make sure you get some value out of being here and watching me. And the key is interaction. So if you want to interact with me and type a message in the chat and say, hey, how's it going? If you just want to shout out, or if you just want me to talk about something, just, you're the boss. You tell me what you want me to talk about and what is going to be of value to you. So anyhow, back to Brian and his painting. Another way to make money is Instagram. And Brian's particular question for me that he had is he's inheriting or getting access to an Instagram account with 40,000 followers. And if those are real followers, that's a really big deal, because it's hard to get followers these days on social media. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the stream here with another question from the community. But so the ways to make money, Brian was asking, how do I make money on Instagram? What do I do with this channel? Now, there's one thing we need to unpack first about this Instagram. What Brian does is painting. This Instagram that he's going to be inheriting is photography, and has a huge following for photography. So there is a little bit of a different niche there. And I know Brian is talking about being careful to not upset the audience of that community in Instagram, that he's just going to all of a sudden take the channel over and just make it, that Instagram channel all painting, when the original fans are photography. So the first thing I want to say is about that is, if you're going to add painting into it, I think it's not a bad idea to just test the waters a little bit and just see what the community says, by putting in a post here or there. And you really need to ask people in the post, what do you think? Would you like to see artwork or this kind of artwork? And see if that jives with the photography audience. Now, if the photography audience says, well, no, we really like photography, then at that point, with that particular account, you're going to have to stick with what the audience has right there. Now, that's not a bad thing if you have interest in photography and that's one of your passions and one of the things you want to do. So the ways of making money on Instagram, just as a reminder for those watching, there's several ways right now with an Instagram account. And when I mean Instagram, I mean getting an account probably up to around 10,000 followers. That really is the grind right now. Some coffee here. Okay, so ways to make money on Instagram. The first thing is badges. That's when you do a live stream and you can start selling badges on your lives to your followers on Instagram, and they can pay certain amounts of money for badges, and you get that as a channel. Another way is affiliate marketing. So you can start putting links to other companies and brands that you talk about or showcase. And if people click on that link and make the purchase, then you get some money from that. So that's really popular right now on Instagram. Another thing you can do is sell merchandise. With enough followers on Instagram, you can actually have an Instagram store with a professional account, and you can actually get your items connected from your store onto that account and sell the items directly, whether it's drop shipping or items that you're selling that you make or create or have had manufactured on your own. You can do that as well. You can sell coaching and more intensive one-on-one type things. You can have partnerships with companies. When you have that many followers on Instagram, some companies will find you. Sometimes you have to look into other companies to get their attention, and you can form partnerships with those companies where they pay you to promote a certain product or whatnot. The real key is to know your niche, know what you're doing. So in this case, with Brian inheriting this photography Instagram, if photography is the niche is going to stay in, you'd want to look at other photography Instagram accounts that are big and see what they're doing to monetize and start to offer some similar things to your community in that with your own Instagram account. So you can also link to your blog and your website if there's things that you want to sell, and that can be any of the services I listed above. It can be links to your YouTube if you want traffic for videos. I mean, building this type of ecosystem between your website, YouTube, anything that you have going, and making sure you're keeping attention and followers and activity flowing between those things is really how you're going to see yourself get the opportunity to have multiple streams of income and start to increase your business that way. So I think that's it for Brian and his questions there. And Brian, I'm sure you'll catch this. If you have more follow-up questions for me, just let me know. Send me a private message. But I don't want to overwhelm you with all these different things, but I wanted to give you just some basic things to think about as you get into this. And I know you want your goals for your painting business to just take off. So, all right, so we've got some more questions here. This one's going to be fun. This is how to bring more organic traffic to grow registration on your website. So someone reached out to me in the community that has a website, and the website's kind of cool. There's like little things to do on the website. It's all about mental health. And one of the things I found on the website that I really liked was you can, with your mouse or your finger on your phone, you can break pieces of glass. And you can hear a little crashing sound, and it's just one of those mental health type things. And that was the first thing I did, was start breaking things on the website. So I think that's kind of a cool concept to get me involved there. But they were asking, they have about 3,500, I think, registrations, I want to say. Or is it just visitors? But they want to hit that 10,000 mark. So they're asking me for advice on what they can do for their website to get more visitors and get more registrations. So I looked at the website, and this is just some constructive criticism, some things that I'm saying that I really think this person should do. I'm not trying to discourage or put them down, but these are things that need to be in line for the website to be successful. And so the first thing I noticed about the website is there's no security certificate for the website. So in other words, when I go to the website, my browser says it's not secure, and that is not good. You don't want that ever popping up on anyone's browser. And there's some browsers that won't even go to the website. They won't even open the website if it's not secure. How do you get an SSL security certificate? You talk to your domain host, the person who's the company that's hosting your website and your domain. Talk to them and see how to get an SSL certificate. That is how you can make your website secure. That should be first and foremost the thing that you get done. The second is you need to make it easy for people to register on your website when they visit. Actually, I will get back to that one in a second here. I want to get back to some basic things we need to get done here. The website's also not optimized for mobile. So when I look at it on my smartphone, on my iPhone, it doesn't look right. It's not scaled correctly. And so that needs to be something, again, that's something you need to talk to your website designer, whoever's hosting it, to make sure it's optimized for a mobile browser. It's hard to read. The print is really small, and that could be because it's not optimized for mobile. But I found that the words on the site are very hard to read. I can't read the testimonials. And that's another issue, is the English translation needs some work. It says happy user reviews, and that doesn't really work well in English translation. It just doesn't, how do I put this? It just doesn't read right in our language. We don't say happy user reviews. We don't talk that way in English as our native language. So replace that with testimonials, the word testimonials, and that'll be much better. But also those need to be front and center and easy to read. The font needs to be improved. The colors are hard to look at on the website. There's just some real big design issues going on with the website, and I think this is what's hurting your visitor count or retention count. People aren't coming back. Hey everyone, I see some more viewers coming in. Be sure to say hi. Don't be shy. I will break my train of thought to answer your questions. I'm just talking about helping out someone with their website right now. So yeah, there's basic things that need to be done on the website for people to have a good experience when they come. So back to the pop-up thing, if you want to collect emails when someone comes to your website, there needs to be that incentive, and there needs to be a reason for why for people to do it. So if you're running a software as a service website, you want registered users, right? That's what this type of site is, and they're selling digital products as well. You need to get people into your site. You need to get them into your community. And I had to look around to find where on this site. Steve-O, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. You're gonna have to tell me, Steve, if you're doing anything entrepreneurial or you're just coming in to say hi. I love seeing you pop up here. Anyhow, if you have a website, you want to make sure that I had to look for where to register. So it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be hard to register for the website. So people need to be able to do that easily. And again, you need to offer some type of incentive for them to give you their email address when they visit your website and that way they can order your product and whatnot. So there's just other design issues there where your product's for sale. Your website's full of a lot of things to do, which is fantastic, but I don't know exactly what you're selling. I have to look along on the top there to see what products you're selling. So there really needs to be, you got to think about the user journey. Put yourself in the position of someone coming to your website, and where do you want them to go? Where do you want them to click on? And you have a few precious seconds really for people to click on the right things, and you're really a click or two away from making a sale or losing the person altogether. So think of these things when you have a website, what that journey is going to be like, and make sure your website is set up in a way that people you're funneling them in the right direction for you to get them either their email or for them to to sell a product to them or whatnot. So all right. Here's another question here from another person in my community. What are the differences of digital businesses and online sales today? Okay. What are your thoughts on social media saturations and any upcoming direct? Wow, this is a very broad question, but I guess we'll dive into digital business here. There's no better time to have a business online. There really isn't. And there's no better time to have a digital business. I mean, most products are going digital in this day and age. And for anyone to think that we've hit a saturation point and there's no point innovating, there's no point trying to get into business, that's absolutely not true. In fact, the person who ran the U.S. Patent Office back in the late 1800s wanted to close the U.S. Patent Office because they thought there was just nothing else to invent. And this was like in the 1890s, right? So we tend to be, as humans, think, oh, well, it's saturated. There's just too much. It's just really going to be nothing new. And that next innovation is coming. So there's no better time to have a digital business. Now, the question becomes, well, what kind of digital business? I'll get to that in a second here. But sales online are just going to keep growing. Online business grows. Software as a service right now is what's really hot. And so people are creating software websites, things that do certain things for people, and from a software perspective, and they might integrate it with AI. So it's kind of like a widget thing where you go to the site, you use the service, and maybe you can use it for free. And then if you want to pay a subscription fee each month, you get more features or you get to unlock more. I think everyone's seen this when they can register for something for free, right? And try out the free version. But then you get watermarks or you get things that are that you're like, okay, this is cool, but I really need to take this to the next level. So like StreamYard, I'm using StreamYard right now to stream this on multiple platforms, this video. And StreamYard has a free plan, but it's free for like 2 hours, right? So once I've done several streams or a couple streams, then at that point, it's, I've used up my free software as a service perk with StreamYard, right? So of course I had to subscribe and pay the monthly fee for StreamYard. So that's just a good example of, this is something that helps my business. This is something that helps me with my social media, and I need to pay this money to keep doing this thing. They've really got me here, right? There's no better time. Everyone's constantly getting into business. They're getting into doing YouTube. They're getting into social media, and there are so many tools. In fact, my YouTube channel, I've got these AI videos that I've recorded on how to use these AI software services, and they don't get a lot of views. I'm probably just not they're really not optimized for YouTube, but I'm just giving you examples that I have one where I show people how to use Instagram to do reels in seconds using an AI tool. And the AI tool is free, and then they have a paid version if you want to take it to the next level. I mean, if I were really into Instagram and doing reels, I would really want to use a service like that because I can create customized reels in seconds instead of spending minutes doing, like, you go to Canva and spend, you can create a reel in Canva, but it still takes time to go to each page and stuff. Wouldn't it be nice if you just had someone just spit out that reel in a few seconds? That's just the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. So this is what's hot right now. Selling digital products, selling how-to, selling education, selling courses, those types of things. There's just never a better time to get into that. Okay, so I think I beat that dead horse a little bit there, but you get the gist. Social media is saturated, and it's very discouraging to get into, create an Instagram account or YouTube or anything and just try to start getting traction. That's hard. If it were easy, everyone would do it and everyone would have a million followers. So social media is a competition, and it's for attention, right? It's getting people's attention, and you need to be entertaining and inspiring or educational. So there's three parts. I'll say these again because this is really important. If you have social media and you're using social media and you want to grow business and you want to grow a following, you have to be either entertaining, so you're funny, or you keep people glued to their screens because you're just fun to watch, or you need to be inspiring, so you're inspiring to do something, to motivate them to do something, and they get inspired by watching you or looking at your content. Or the third is educational. They learn something by looking at your content and they get some real value. That's the third way they get value. They learn how to operate business. Like my social media is heavy in entrepreneurship and learning about wealth and how to make money. So those, I'm going to be a lot on the educational side, probably not much on the entertaining side. Now, if you can combine those things, then that's awesome. If you could be entertaining and educational, uh, that's like what most children's shows aim for to be, right? And inspiring, that's great. But just remember, those are the three reasons that people are going to be looking at your social media. What we don't want to see in social media that gets boring is look at my product, look at my product, look at what I do. Um, that just gets boring. People get inundated with ads and things like that all day long. So with social media, you really have to offer something of value to people to get their attention now. It just can't be about our product. It's why companies like Coca-Cola and Red Bull and I mean, you name it, any large company in social media, their posts may not be about their product. It's about something that is driving the community or something that's driving conversation and engagement, right? That's what they're trying to do on social media. And there's no reason why we should operate any differently than that. We need engagement. We need people talking. We need to generate a buzz. We need reasons for people to keep coming back, and whether it's having debates or arguments or just saying, yeah, I get this. This is me. This is my life. I feel the same way. Don't be shy, everybody. Love to hear from you. I see, again, more people in the stream here. So hello, everybody. Okay. I have another question, and this is really common, and a lot of you may be feeling this way, is that a lot of people hesitate to create a course or digital product because they haven't scaled a business or a social media account yet. And a lot of these people sell these products and they generate a 6-digit revenue, 6 figures. Do I need to start from somewhere and pack my knowledge and promote it without proof? Okay, this is imposter syndrome. And everybody who starts into any business where you're selling something or coaching or something of value, this is happening. I feel the same way at times. Okay, so it's imposter syndrome, and I have some encouragement for you. You don't have to be famous or known as a guru. You don't have that's coming from authority, right? So if you've had the experience, if you're a shark on Shark Tank, if you've made millions of dollars and you're flying on a private jet, or you got a YouTube with 100 million followers, yes, that is a place of authority. You don't have to have that to start what you're doing. Um, what you need to do is build leverage, okay, and be seen as an expert. Now, question is, how do you do that? Well, the proof for you to be an expert and to build that leverage is going to be through other people. So let's say, for example, you decide you want to start a life coach business and you're unknown and no one knows, you're kind of feeling that imposter syndrome. You want to be a life coach. You've done a lot of training and you're ready to go. Well, you need to obviously, besides the obvious parts of creating all the social media and things like that in your website, you need to start having people talk about you and feature people talking about you. So I'll just give you an example. I coach people on Fiverr, and I charge $100 an hour to coach people on business. Now, did I start out that way? Absolutely not. I had to prove myself to the Fiverr community. And so I started out with a very low price. I started coaching people, and they really liked my coaching and how I helped them. And so I started getting all these 5-star reviews of people talking about what I did and how I helped them. And so what that did is that proved to the Fiverr community that, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about, and I can feel comfortable investing the money. So the same thing goes if you're doing life coaching on any platform or anywhere. You need to have that social proof. And you don't necessarily need to sell something. In fact, I recommend, if you can coach some people for free and get their test in exchange for their testimony, that is a lot of the leverage you need to really get started. I think in the end, if you offer something that people need, that is of value to them, that solves their crisis, then you will get their attention, and ultimately they will pay you to help them with what you want to do. So no, you don't have to have all of that leverage. I hope that helps. Also, something to keep in mind on social media is that a lot of this is blown up and fake. I'm just sorry to say, it's just a lot of people, and it's sad, and I think it's wrong. I mean, I don't think you should tell people you're a multimillionaire and that you live on a yacht, and if you really don't, and trying to sell courses and things to them if you're really not doing that. I think everyone can think of an example when that type of stuff is done. So, and Instagram is just really bad with this. I mean, you just go to Instagram and you see all these people posting these pictures next to pools and nice places, and they're like, look at my life, and I coach and I make millions of dollars. Well, they probably visited the pool and stayed as a hotel guest, right, or something, and they're taking pictures. And just be aware of the smoke and lasers, the smoke and mirrors. All this stuff is a lot of this is just inflated when people show how much the money they're making. Stuff like that, I just personally it just turns me off. I don't like people showing their screens on how much money they made, and just trying to brag that they can help you with their online course. Look, if there was a silver bullet to make $1 million, okay, in any way, people would do it. Everyone would know about it. It would not be a secret that would be guarded by someone charging you $1,000 for a course. Okay, it's just, it would not. No one can gatekeep something like that. And so my conclusion is that, one, it's not very common, and two, when people say they have some plan to do it, and that's going to make you that kind of money, they're just selling you a course. And I have to say this carefully, because I'm in coaching and I create courses, but my business plan's a bit different. I want to offer my stuff for free, because that's how business has changed. I could talk more about that on another live, but anyhow, just be aware that when you see people, generating 6-figure incomes and making all this money, a lot of it's just people puffing up their social media, buying followers, and making themselves look big, and in order to try to sell you a course. Don't let that affect you. Don't let that keep you from starting your own process. People want something authentic, right? Authenticity. That's what they want. They want to know you personally. They want to know that you're the real deal. You can give them that easily, and it's just by doing lives, engaging with people, helping people, showcasing people and how you've really helped them. That's real stuff. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Another struggle is views and numbers. Growing a channel, social media account in the age of content feels overwhelming due to intense competition. Yeah, I touched on this earlier, is how to stand out in the crowd, basically how to grow your social media, right? There's two parts of this I could break this down to. One is YouTube, and I could spend an hour talking about YouTube. And obviously, I'm not a huge guru on YouTube, but I've studied a lot. I've had mentorship, and the YouTube channel is it's, I think it's every business should have YouTube, and growing a YouTube is a real art form to it, and it's a lot of research, knowing the knowledge of your niche, and it's knowing what keywords to use and using tools like vidIQ that can help you find out what those keywords are, what the competition is. There's a lot of analytics, there's a lot of data, a lot of research, a lot of writing scripts, making sure you have everything in order, and testing and seeing how the audience does with it. Those are the real important things about growing a YouTube channel. As I talk about all this social media, including YouTube, I want you to remember one thing. There's just no autopilot. Anyone who says that it's automated or you can use AI to just do everything for you and you just sit back and make money, that's just not true. I haven't seen it. And if someone did it, they probably were the first to do it, and they're the only to do it, because everyone else is looking at it and going, well, that's really not what I want to follow. That's not what I watch. People fish this stuff out. They could tell if you're just mailing it in, right? If you're just not putting in any kind of effort. So the social media and YouTube and everything, you need to find that balance between, I don't want to get overworked and stressed out, but at the same time, I need to be able to create content, right, and bring value to people. And AI tools and things like that can help you from getting stressed out, and they can save you a lot of time. But in the end, you really need to create that value. So you have to stand out. You have to, by building your community. People are looking for communities, so you need to have your social media needs to be about. For example, in my company, my first company that I started, my product was about my community. I rarely had any photos of my product in my social media feed. I just, it wasn't about my product. Again, people see product pictures all day long, and it's just boring. But my social media was about my community. So, for example, on X, on Twitter, I would do about 60 tweets a day talking about my community and what they're up to and what they're doing and what my influencers were doing and what my influencers were working on. And because my posts would be about my influencers, for example, they would repost my post, and then their following would repost my post about them. And then I went viral on most of these posts and got a lot of followers because it was about the community, right? So interact, bring incredible value, education, entertainment, like I've talked about earlier, those three things of value to people, but also bring people in and get any kind of leverage. If someone is into something you're doing, feature them as your mouthpiece for a bit, and feature their social media, and make your stuff about your community. And when people see that, it will draw more people in. Okay. That's about it right now. I don't see any other questions in the chat. And I have no other questions for this week. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing all of you on the next live stream. Be sure to join my free community. And if you want to ask questions about online business, how to grow online business, and again, I specialize in strategies and organic growth without using paid ads. We don't want to dump money into Google and Meta and Facebook, right? We want to do this naturally and build our businesses. So I look forward to helping you out. And be sure to check out my channel, like and subscribe. Thank you for whoever liked my live broadcast here. And I will see all of you next weekend. Have a great one. Have a great week.